Hey, what's up everybody? Before I get into this 2020 Mach 1 Mustang, I want to introduce you to my Car Talk with Zach page. Go to cartalkwithzach.com. That's cartalkwithzach.com. Also check me out on Facebook and Instagram. And while you're watching this video on YouTube, just go ahead and click subscribe and like my page, so that way you don't miss any of my fun new videos. But yeah, without further ado, look at this 2020 Ford Mustang Mach 1. This is a vehicle that I acquired for Laird Noller from a friend of mine who is handling an estate, and man, is it just such a gem. This is, like I said, a 2020 Ford Mustang Mach 1. This is Fighter Jet Gray, which was the color that this vehicle was relaunched in 2020. And I'm just going to do a quick walk around and then we'll get into some of the specs. But absolutely love this car. It absolutely screams. It looks so good in this Fighter Jet Gray with the black and orange stripes down the side. That's kind of a throwback to the original Mach 1s, as is the badging, you know, very reminiscent of the old school Mach 1s. But love the way this thing looks. It looks so good. This vehicle really bridges the gap between the Bullet Mustang, which ended its model year in 2020, and the Shelby GT350. So this is a car that bridges the gap between those two cars, and you're talking about bridging the gap between two very capable, very awesome Mustang additions. So again, really love the stripe package here. You've got kind of a matte gray, gloss black, that orange stripe. You can see the heat extractors on the hood. You know, I'll talk just a little bit about this car. It really pulls from the parts bin of the Shelby GT350 and the Shelby GT500. So the parking lights and turn signals are from the Shelby up front. Also, there's adjustable camber plates under the hood. Those are from the Shelby. Engine oil cooler, intake manifold, the throttle body, the oil filter adapter, the transmission cooler, and the tires. If you have the handling package, this one does not have the handling package. Those are all straight from the GT350. This one also does have Ford's 10-speed automatic. You know, if I were going to spec this car, I probably would get it with the 6-speed manual. If you do opt it with the 6-speed manual, you get the Tremec 3160 6-speed from the Shelby GT350. It is a fabulous transmission. I've reviewed a GT350. It is outstanding. Also, if you do get the handling package, again, this one doesn't have that. You get the a kind of a bigger rear wing. But coming around the back, what you get off of the GT350 and the GT500 is the rear tire splats back there. You also get rear tow control link, the exhaust tips, differential cooling system, or the rear diffuser is straight off the GT500, and the rear subframe with stiffer bushings, all from the GT500. So this is a very track capable car. Ford says this is the most track capable Mustang in the lineup, and I can tell you, having driven it for the last couple of weeks, it is very capable. I would love to get this car out on a track because the grip is outstanding. The sound it makes, the power it pulls for years. This is a tremendous car. It really is. Yeah, so we'll just kind of walk back around. We'll open the inside up and I'll show you the inside of this beautiful Mach 1 Mustang. It does have keyless entry. You can leave the key in your pocket and you can lock it, and also unlock it right here. Because the windows are frameless, I don't know if you noticed, probably didn't, but when you open the door, the window just goes down just a little bit to clear the lip here. But love the orange stripe on the inside and the seats. Crawling in, it looks really nice in here. Again, if I were going to spec this car, I would have spec'd it with the 6-speed manual, but you get what you get sometimes. And this one's got the 10-speed automatic. You know, Ford will tell you the 10-speed automatic is faster on the track than the 6-speed, and I can tell you, man, the shifts are just lightning fast. I can see why this car is faster with the automatic on the track. You do have paddle shifters here from up and down, so you can control the shifting, although I've done that some. Honestly, the car does a great job with it. Go ahead and put my foot on the brake and start it. Listen to this thing. So you got 480 horsepower at 7,000 RPM and 420 pound-feet of torque at 4,600 RPM. It really, this thing really pulls. It's got 307 inches of displacement. It's a dual overhead cam 32 valve V8, aluminum block, and heads port and direct fuel injection. So that's where the power is coming from. I'll kind of toggle through some of these menus. So you can set your own, you know, steering feel, exhaust, suspension. That's what that My Mode is. But if you go into exhaust mode, there are 3 different exhaust modes, and I'll demonstrate these both inside the vehicle and outside the vehicle here in just a second. But this is the quiet mode. Normal. Sport. Track. It's going to tell you to see the manual and for track purposes only. So the exhaust has got dampers in them, and you can actually control those dampers. They're different track apps. You can do your own 0 to 30, 0 to 60, 0 to 100, quarter mile, eighth mile times from the inside of the car. It also gives you brake performance. How far did it take you to go from 60 to 0 and 100 to 0? Line lock. This will actually hold the front tires, and you can do a full burnout. You can burn the back tires off of this thing. A lot of the performance Mustangs have this, and I haven't done this because it's a dealership car, but I very much want to. I'm going to back out of this before I get too crazy. Lap timer. It'll time your laps. It'll give you a start option, so it'll actually count down for you, either for like a drag race or a racetrack. So very cool. Let's see here. You've got little gauges down here. This is the hazards. Traction control on or off. Steering. I'll just go ahead and toggle through this. You've got comfort steering, normal steering, and sport steering. You know, and it's just going to change the stiffness and the feel of the steering, and you can really tell a different way to go through the modes and to feel the different exhausts and steering feel is just through these modes. So you've got normal mode here. You've got the My Mode. Again, you can kind of designate what you want, you know, your own personal preferences in that My Mode. And we'll go up through Sport Plus. Just kind of opens those exhaust dampers a little bit and gives you a little more throaty sound, gives you a little more stiffer steering. And then from there we'll go up to Track. That's going to be the most open exhaust, the stiffest steering, and a limited traction control. So it's going to keep you out of trouble, but it's going to let you really kind of power steer around the turns and in and out of the turns on the track. So really good. I've been playing in track mode quite a bit. There's also the drag strip mode, and finally snow and wet. So each one of those modes goes through and changes everything for you, so you can really kind of drive the car the way you want. So enough of hearing me blab. I'm going to set the GoPro on the back of the car and let you hear the exhaust note from the outside of the car at each one of those different exhaust modes, and then we'll do a little driving impression. You're gonna like it because I love it. Gotta admit, that sounded pretty good, didn't it? All right, so we'll take a little ride with you in the Mach 1. This doesn't have a panoramic roof. You can't get a glass roof in the Mach 1, so I've mounted the GoPro here on the side window, so you can kind of see almost what I'm seeing. You know, comfort-wise, the car feels really good. It is stiff, it's heavy. I do have it in Sport Plus mode. Sorry, I just can't help it. Do have it in Sport Plus mode, so it's got, you know, the exhaust dampers fairly wide open, and traction control will keep you out of trouble, but it'll also let you have a little fun. It's going to hold the gears a little longer, but God, the sound this thing makes. I have to be honest with you, I took my boys out to pick this car up when we purchased it, and first thing my 13-year-old said right when we were pulling out of the guy's driveway, he was like, "Daddy, be careful." He could tell this was a special car, but it was just a few miles south of Lawrence and about a 15-minute drive back to my house to put it in my garage. And God, I had the windows open. The car sounds so good. It sounds like a monster is under the hood, just waiting to be broken through. It is just an incredible sound. And it's hard to describe. I want you to hear it again, because just the magic that's happening in this incredible 5-liter V8 to make this kind of power, is the sound it makes is just tremendous. You can see it like really searching for traction, but it's there. It really is there. It grips really quite good. This is a really neat car. It really is. It gets a lot of attention too. This fighter jet gray and stripe package, man, everybody loves it. Like I said, I've had this car a couple weeks now. I haven't driven it every day by any stretch of the imagination, but I did take it to a car show, and it got a lot of attention there. It gets a lot of attention when I'm driving around town. I got a text yesterday from a buddy. He was like, "Did I just see you in that beautiful Mustang?" I was like, "Yeah," and he said, "You're getting quite a reputation that you're the only person that I could think of that would be driving a badass car like that." So thanks, Brandon. A little shout out to my friend Brandon. So I'll give a little space for this Jeep here, and then I'm gonna open it up. Listen to those shifts. I mean, it just shifts lightning fast. Good gracious alive. So that was a really hard pull, and just those gears shift so fast. I know I'm gonna take flack for this not being a 6-speed. I wish it was, but I'm gonna tell you, man, the gear shifts are phenomenal in this car. They just blast through, bam, bam, bam. You don't even know they're happening. It is just trying so hard to find the right gear to keep that power band moving, and I'm telling you, it does an exquisite job. It is fantastic. God, this thing pulls so good, and the sound it makes, again, I know I'm geeking out, but oh, it is just such an incredible car. I've always been a fan of the Mustang since I was probably 8 or 9 years old. That 5-liter Mustang in the late 80s, early 90s. You know, there's nothing that sounds like those cars, and it really that car probably had a lot to do with me loving cars so much. And so I've always been a Mustang fan, and this is such a good Mustang. It really is. I want you to listen again. I'm going to pull through these gears again. Just listen to how fast this thing shifts. It is a phenomenal car. Falling into traffic here, but it is a phenomenal car. I love this car. I've taken a few friends out in this car. Scared one, but this is a tremendous car. just the sound. Oh, you know, there are very few cars that emit an emotion, and this car emits an emotion. This thing is phenomenal. Again, bridging the gap between the Bullet Mustang. I've driven a Bullet Mustang, but I've never reviewed one. At the time, I had a Shelby GT350 that I was reviewing, and a friend of mine, Allison, was driving a Bullet Mustang, and we switched for a few minutes just so we could see each other's cars. But that I was really impressed by the Bullet. I love the rev matching downshifts. This car would have that too if it had the 6-speed manual. I've also, again, I've driven the GT350. Loved the GT350. I felt so just honored to be able to drive that car for a weekend. Kind of midway through my Car Talk with Zach growth, and before I had the YouTube channel, so I don't have video of it. But tremendous car, and this is such a beautiful marriage between those two cars. You know, this car will price out high 50s, and I gotta tell you, it's worth that. It's worth that. And if you have the inclination to track it, do so, because it's even worth the money more so if you are going to use this car for what it was made for. This is a race car. This is a street legal race car. Really track focused. The suspension is so tight. There's zero body roll. I mean, it just, put it in track mode real quick for this last pull. I gotta be careful though, there's a sheriff's there, so maybe won't do a pull. But yeah, I mean, tight suspension, no body roll. This thing's got grip for days. It is a tremendous car. I'm trying to think what else. You know, comfort level, we've got heated and ventilated seats, dual zone climate control. You know, it's a comfortable car. It's got nice bolstering in the seats to kind of hug you into place. You know, you got a fully digital gauge cluster, which is somewhat customizable. Navigation. You know, I mean, it's a nice car. It's a well-equipped Mustang. But again, under the hood, it is an absolute monster. It's an absolute monster. Well, I want to do one more pull, but I don't want to get in trouble. So if you want to see it again, feel free to rewind the video and watch me do that again, because holy crap, this car is so good. Track mode, it's going to hold those gears just a little bit longer. And I'm going to be quiet now and just let you listen to it. I'm going to come to a stop and just floor it. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed filming it. This car goes into the dealership tomorrow to get PDI'd. It's going to get cleaned up, it's going to get listed, and it can be yours. And I encourage you to buy it. I wish I could. I wish I could. This would be a car that doesn't make a lot of sense for my family, but man, would it be a great car for me to get out and just play with. It is a tremendous car. 2020. Oh, listen to the rev match. It does it better in the manual. It does it better in the manual, but that rev match is nice on the downshifts. So again, 2020 Ford Mustang Mach 1, 480 horsepower, 420 pound-feet of torque, bridging the gap between the Bullitt Mustang and the Shelby GT350. Also a Mustang GT Performance would be just below this, but this is an outrageous car. An outrageous car. And I really thank you for tuning in.